Have you ever wanted to learn how to score like Link King? Pass like Eric. Defend like Nova.
Oh, sir, what a horrible mistake giving Nova. Oh, Nova breakaway!
Goalie like the great Elder Sage.
To keep their team alive. Can they do it? Does that one front take the shot and a big save?
Or dribble like yours truly. If so, then you've come to the right place, because this is Mondays with Mets. Welcome to Mondays with Mets, episode number 3, a long-awaited episode on offense. Yes, it's finally here. Feels good to be back. First, we're going to go over the basic offensive mechanics that you should be aware of. Fast fill, cursor distance, boost, steal, and movement. Next, we'll go over passing and shooting, followed up by positioning. Then we'll go over the catch and carry. And we'll finish up with some concluding thoughts and a preview of the next episode, which will be on goaltending. So the first thing you should know regarding offensive mechanics is fast fill. Very simply, fast fill refers to your initial charge when you fill your shot power meter. Your initial charge fills about, I'd say, roughly twice as fast as the subsequent charge. So basically, once you hold down left click and then you right click, your future charges go significantly slower. You'll see that in the examples to follow. So the first thing you should know about offense before you try to do anything else is you should know about fast fill. The easiest way to explain fast fill is that your initial charge when you're holding down power is faster than every other subsequent charge. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to one right click down here, hold left click, and it fills. By the time I get to here, it's full. Now look how much slower it fills after this first charge. So pay attention to the power bar. See how quick it fills up? Now watch. I'm going to right click and deplete the bar, and then you can see how much slower it fills after that. See, it takes, I would say, close to twice as long to fill up the bar after your fast fill is gone than it does with fast fill. This is very important. So one thing you should keep in mind about fast fill is that when you have a breakaway, just one right click downfield, then hold. And then by the time you're in any type of position to shoot or pass, you're going to have full power. You don't want to be spamming right click, thinking, oh, well, I have plenty of time to get my power bar up, because before you know it, you're going to be there at the crease and you're not going to have your power full because the bar fills really slow if you don't have fast fill. So I think this is a mechanic that a lot of people actually don't know about, even though I would say it's very important. When I first started playing, pretty sure it was Elder Sage who was like very adamant about keeping that in mind about fast fill. When you see, like, especially higher level players getting a lot of power on their shots from around the crease, it's because they're using fast fill. They're just doing one click, holding. You see that? By the time I get up there to shoot to the far post, I have basically a full power bar. If I'm spamming right click here, not nearly as much. One click, hold. It's a huge difference. You're talking about like a quarter of a bar compared to 3/4 of the bar, just from this little distance covered. That's how much of a difference fast fill makes. So try to keep in mind, anytime you have a lot of space in front of you, just one click and then hold. You don't need to right click a whole bunch of times There's no point to it. So get into that. Honestly, you should get into such a habit of doing that if you're having issues getting power on breakaways, you should just go into a game by yourself and then just practice that. Just practice doing one click downfield, one right click downfield, and then holding power. It seems really easy, but a lot of newer players have a hard time doing that. Because you're used to playing games where you just spam right click and there's no penalty for it, but Zella Hockey is a huge penalty. The next thing regarding shot power that you should be aware of is cursor distance. Very simply, cursor distance means the farther you aim away from your zealot, the more power you'll get. So cursor distance, it works in conjunction with the shot power bar to influence your shot speed. One other thing you should be aware of on offense is cursor distance. The farther you aim away from your zealot, the more power you'll get on your shot or one-timer. So here, let's look at an example. I'm going to aim right in front of the puck, and I'm going to just tap left click. And let's see how hard the puck gets hit. See, it gets hit very softly. So that's why when you dribble, like dribbling in a tight situation, you want to click as close to you as possible, so you hit the puck really softly and you can grab it back. Now let's try clicking really far away. So I'm standing over here at the face-off circle on the defensive side. I'm going to click all the way over to this face-off circle. Just one left click. Look how much harder it gets hit. I try to keep the zealot on the screen. So pay attention to the puck. I'm going to click downfield. Look how much harder the puck gets hit. Now, this is useful particularly when you're on the crease. You want to try and aim as far away as you can. I know you won't always get the chance to do it, but if you can, try to aim as far back as you can, even if it's all the way to the board. So you get so much more power on your shot, your quick shots doing that. So keep in mind, cursor distance works in conjunction with the power bar. I would say the power bar is definitely more important for getting power on your shots, but don't neglect cursor distance. It's very important for dribbling and for crease shots particularly, and for one-timers too. Also works on one-timers. Now look how much power Slide gets on this one-timer because of cursor distance. Now granted, the pass is fast, it's almost a full bar, but if you pay attention to the puck speed compared to how fast Slide hits the one-timer, Slide's one-timer is like twice or 3 times as fast. It's crazy. So take a close look at this. So I'm bringing the puck up here, so almost a full power bar. So yeah, it's going to be fast no matter what. But the speed that the puck gets past is not even close to the one-timer. Watch this. So it's pretty fast. It's not that fast, again, because my cursor distance is really close to Slide, even with the full power bar, so it's not going too fast. Now Slide, I wish I could see where he was aiming. Unfortunately, you can't. But just look how fast it goes in. He has like no chance to save this. You can't. You can barely see it. It's that fast. And I followed up asking him, was he aiming really far away? Yeah, he was. I actually saved this replay. It's from like months ago. I remembered it. So that's something you can keep in mind. One player other than Slide, who I've noticed does this a lot, is Blue Dream. Like he'll one-timer, you don't even pass fast, and he still gets like ridiculous speed on it. So I guess he must always aim like at the boards or something. So if you're passing the Slide or Blue Dream and you see them setting up for a one-timer, maybe you want to pass them even if you don't have power on it. A little known game mechanic you should be aware of that can be helpful for you is that the puck carrier moves 3% slower than all other zealots on the ice. A lot of people don't know about this. If you keep this in your mind, it could be a useful thing to be aware of, and I'll give you some examples to follow. So another mechanic you should be aware of on offense is that the puck carrier moves 3% slower than all the other zealots on the ice. Now, because it's such a small percentage, a lot of people don't even know that this is in the game. But you can use this to your advantage. If you and the defender trailing you are kind of going in a straight line, that defender is going to catch up to you because he's moving faster than you. So keep in mind that your time is limited when the defender is lockstep with you in the same direction, even if you have a moderate to small lead on him. Something you can do to buy yourself a little more time is you can tap the puck in front of you kind of like a dribble, get rid of that move speed debuff. So when your lanes are kind of cut off, you're going in kind of a straight line, you don't have many options. You don't want that defender behind you to catch up to you. Do a little tap in front of you, maybe a little dribble, if you feel confident with it. I know not everybody's so great at dribbling, especially, if you're a pro player or something like that, probably not that great at it. But once you get more confident in it, that's something you can work into your gameplay. You can work into that, work in a dribble there, work in just tapping the puck down in front of you without losing it, without slowing down, so that you get rid of that move speed debuff and you keep going at the same rate as the defender behind you, which keeps you in front of him for longer. So one thing to keep in mind about the puck carrier move speed, how you move 3% slower when you have the puck, don't try to tap the puck downfield or just dribble for the sake of doing it. Don't misunderstand what I was saying and take that away from the clip on the puck carrier move speed. You only want to do that when you have no other options and you're just trying to buy yourself some time from a trailing defender. Don't be the guy just dribbling and losing the puck when you have a teammate open. If you have a teammate open, make the pass. If you have a shot open, take the shot. You only want to dribble. You only want to buy yourself some time when you have no other options. Keep that in mind. It's very important. Your teammates will love you if you're hitting the passes. Your teammates will hate you if you're the guy just randomly losing the puck and dribbling for no reason. So right here, Restral has a pretty clean breakaway. It's a 1v1 opportunity. His boost's about to come off cooldown. So he could start holding power right here. He can shoot either post. If he has power held down, there's a gap. There's a gap bottom, there's a gap top. And then he could wait for his boost to come off of cooldown, and then he could, boost towards either gap with a full power and shoot it in, or cut back and then shoot the other post, the far post, if he wants to. Instead, what he does here is really ill-advised. So he does
he back passes.
Right, he does a self pass. First off, this is terrible for a few reasons. A, because a lot of times, I don't care who you are, no matter how good you are at doing that, a lot of times you're going to knock the puck away. You can't 100% of the time hit it to yourself. So if he ends up hitting it stray, it could go to Vapor for a breakaway. 50% of the time that's going to happen. He's going to hit it astray and it's going to go to Vapor. So you don't want to do that there. Secondly, you're stopping yourself from getting any power held down. He could start holding power down here, and by the time he's in an opportunity to shoot, he can have almost a full power shot. Instead, he wastes time. He wastes an opportunity to hold his power down by self-passing. And it just makes no sense to do here. And look how much time he wastes. And then he wastes so many seconds where he could have the puck, and then he just...
Bob has power by that point.
Right. He just does a desperation shot because he took himself out of the play for no reason, let the defense get in a position to defend. So he had what was an excellent opportunity to score, and he turned it into absolutely nothing because he decided to try to do a super fancy play for no reason.
So one big thing that I want to mention here, especially because he did self-pass, that move is cute. It looks cool. It's usually not very useful. The only time you would ever want to self-pass is if someone's about to YOLO you on, you're going forward with the puck, and let's say the second man tries to YOLO you on their team because they're desperate, and you self-pass, away from yourself so that they boost right through you, and then you do continue with forward momentum. Yeah. That's the
As
only
an
time you
evasive
ever
move.
self
So
pass.
let's see who he's evading here.
There's
a
nothing
bit-
to evade.
Right.
Like Umbreon
Umbreon
could have
could-
boosted him if he wanted
And he
to
loses
because he
his
stopped.
momentum too by having to turn back to collect.
Let's look.
So
There's
he
nothing to
was
evade.
going forward,
Let's
and then he
ride
has to
him.
turn back to catch it.
Look at all this time here where he could be charging.
Right.
He could be at half power right now.
And he
Guaranteed.
could
Nice
no,
fast
like
fill right
if
there.
he was charging his power, he
Oh.
could hit me on the one-timer pass. Like I have that bottom post wide open, unless you turn your stick to.
Truth be told,
catch
as
it.
soon as I saw that pass coming, I would turn up, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to get the one-timer angle. But in a split second, you actually do get open for a one-timer that would go in.
Right.
So like,
Okay, I think right here is where he suddenly makes his play. He
right
cuts
here could have been
down and tried to shoot up. That's what he tried.
It's just literally right down the middle. Look at that guide and look at where the puck is. It's right
Yeah.
down the middle.
Literally.
He did try cut
So
down and
nice.
shot up. Oh look, he even had Mets, and Mets was lower than Zach. There's a chance there.
Oh, for sure. If he would have kept charging power and passed it to Mets at this point, it's in.
Yeah. Look, because there is a direct line to that bottom post for my stick.
Yeah. 100% it. I have no doubt about it. Before my stick even finishes turning towards him, because I see this one-timer, obviously, and I'm looking to block it.
Right.
Before my stick even finishes turning, that puck could be like already at the crease from Mets' one-timer.
Exactly.
Like, there's no chance of
And
it getting
it would
saved.
be way too fast from that.
Right.
From that angle for unless you're like the top goalie with low ping to save that. Really.
Or if you're a goalie who already pre-X'd for this exact reason and was boosting down, the force field might be able to catch it.
Right.
So that's another option. But either way, like this could have been a great goal. Many different ways.
Right. And instead it turned into absolutely nothing. Like because of what he did, it basically had no chance
Yeah.
of turning into a scoring play.
Elder's 100% right
Even
on
look
that.
at the actual angle of the shot. He cut down to try to make it tricky, but by cutting down like that, he only makes his angle worse.
Right.
It cuts through the goal even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the shot would have been blocked twice over. Umbreon blocked it, but Timmy would have had it too.
Like if he had just simply gone up and then shot, maybe he could have had a chance. Or if he could have like gone towards top and then tried to
Yeah,
sneak
yeah.
it through the cross.
If he drove top and tried to slam it into the top post, it could have gone in. But
yeah, like shouldn't he have at least turned to give himself a better shot angle? I mean, you waste time. Suddenly turn for the worse angle and shoot a bad shot.
yeah, it really made no sense. One thing that Zach mentioned that, and you as well, Elder, you said that you should only, if you're gonna self pass, only do it as like an evasive move. I think there's one other type of play where it can be useful. I still wouldn't recommend it
Yeah,
though.
you can clear a dead bar.
Yeah, you can do that. I also meant like a lot of people will just shield when they hear the puck get hit.
Yes.
So if you want to
And
waste
it's
it,
useful
try and
for a
waste the
shot.
shield, you can try and do that, but it's still too risky, I think, because so often you'll just lose the puck from doing that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
it's
sure
worth
playing on
it.
sound like that is quite the right way to do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But still.
I mean, there's fast shots that you can barely hear. There's loud shots that are slow.
Right.
So the first thing we're going to go over with offensive passing is how to use the boards effectively. In my opinion, not nearly enough people use the boards frequently enough. And the higher the level of the gameplay, you tend to see more and more people using the boards. So I would highly recommend for pro players to really pay attention to this part. Really read the slide and then pay attention to the clip that follows. Very important.
Worked, but Swift was a good read. Swift over to Mets. Mets over to Carlito. What a pass off the boards, and Carlito in front of the crease. Just buries it home, bottom side.
So when you pass off the boards, the whole point of passing off the boards is that the direct pass is covered, right? Because why would you pass off the boards if you have an easy direct pass?
So when you pass off the boards, it's important that you, with your pass, you're leading your teammate. Because when you hit the direct pass, you're passing straight to them in a direct line to them. When you're passing off the boards, you're usually going around the defense and you're leading your teammate. You're not, he's not catching it from behind usually. He's going to catch it in stride towards where he's going. So when you're doing that, passing off the boards, you generally want to try and aim towards the center crease. Lead your teammate towards the center crease. Why towards the center crease? Because that's the optimal place to be on offense with the puck. When you're at the center crease, you can shoot both posts, you're threatening the goalie, etc., etc. So on this play here, that's exactly what I do. If you look at the defense, so Ling's covering the direct pass this way, Muffin's covering the back pass. If I were to turn back and then try and pass to him, it's really tough to hit a pass here with a direct line. So what I look for instead, I don't even have the puck yet. I'm thinking in advance here. I'm thinking once I get this puck, unless they move off of him, I'm going to try and hit it off the boards towards the center crease. And let's see how it goes. So right here, there is kind of a direct line, but a good player like Ling, he's going to turn his stick back and catch that most of the time. Muffin's also there. He could probably boost in or angle his stick down. So the optimal play here really is the boards pass. It's hard, no doubt about it, and you're not going to get better at it unless you practice it. But if you look here, look at all this space in front of Carl. If I could just hit it off this board here, bounce it towards the center crease, he's going to have time, he's going to have space, and they can't defend that. They are not in a position to defend this. No matter what they do, it's impossible for the defense to intercept this pass if I hit it properly, no matter what. Look at this. Ling goes to try and defend the puck carrier, as 99% of defenders are going to do in that situation. Leaves the boards totally open for me. All I have to do is just lead Carl enough, which I do.
That's over to Carlito. What a pass off the board.
And it's a really good scoring chance for Carl. You love getting the puck to your offensive players in those situations. Center crease with time and space. Again, I know if you're watching it, you're probably thinking, man, that's really hard. A, to think in advance before you get the puck to do that, and then B, to actually hit the pass. But anybody can do it. You just have to practice it. If you don't take chances, if you don't practice these plays, you're never going to get better at them. So try to think every play, think what's the optimal thing to do here. And once you feel comfortable hitting those passes, keep trying to do them more and more often when you see the opportunity there. The key with all of this, you're passing off the boards on offense, try to lead your teammate towards the center crease as much as possible. Another important element of passing that I think generally a lot of people miss out on is passing that middle slot lane to your teammate coming up with momentum, especially when he has boost, because those are fantastic times to do a solo drive towards the net. So essentially, when you have the puck by the boards on offense and you see a teammate coming up in that middle slot and he's got boost and he's got his forward momentum going towards the crease, that's a great time to pass. And what's even better about it is it doesn't need to be a high power pass because he's not one-timering. He doesn't have to one-timer because the catch and carry there is even better, typically speaking. So take a look at this image I'm going to bring up, kind of getting into the idea of what I mean by the middle slot. Essentially, it's in between the face-off circles on offense.
So on this play, Nova and myself, we really use the whole middle slot idea and rotation here to create a really good opportunity for our team, which results in a goal. So let's take a look. So Nova hits it up off the boards towards me. Remember, when you're third man passing the puck, you really want to use the boards as much as possible because it's a lot safer. You can cover more ground when you pass in a quicker amount of time than holding power, waiting for a direct line to open up. So Nova, great job right off the bat as third man, using the boards to get it down to me. I use my boost to create some space for myself, so now my boost is on cooldown. So I rotate back, get it back to Nova, and he goes down towards the bottom boards, and I go in that middle lane. Nova sees this. He knows my boost is going to be off cooldown in a few seconds, so holds it a little longer, gets it over to me. Look at this. Right in that perfect area you want to be in to attack and drive. Boost coming off a cooldown in a second or two. Shaftman, by the way, doing a good job here because he knows I have a driving lane. If I want to take that driving lane up to the top post, he's getting out of the way. Good play by him. A lot of times you'll see people kind of just hug the crease and it kind of blocks things off for your teammates. So nice job by Shaftman there too as the off-puck player on offense. So the goalie, he's going to have to reposition himself because I could potentially one-timer it right here when I collect the puck, or I could drive it really quick top and shoot it in there. So he's going to have to reposition. So if we pause it here, look, now he's not covering either post. So Tanks, the third man here, he's going to have to go and make a decision which post he wants to cover. He's going to end up covering the bottom post, which is more of the far post in this situation, which basically leaves me a 1v1 with Music, and both posts open, so I can drive either post here. Let's see what ends up happening. Wait for my boost. I boost top. He's not covering it. He's not covering either post. And it's an easy goal. It's like really fundamental offensive hockey right there. Really great job by all three players on offense. Most notably, Nova and myself rotating back and forth, passing it to one another, waiting for cooldowns to expire. But good job by Shaftman too there, rotating back, giving me the full length of the lane to drive with boost. Really opened up the play immensely. So the last thing we're going to go over in this section is sniping. I think particularly at the lower levels, players tend to snipe way too much. They don't really know when to, so they kind of just snipe it into the goalie's shield in really obvious situations. But there are great times to snipe, and an easy way to remember this is to call it a ripe snipe. Ripe as in the right time, the goalie's shield expired, you catch him repositioning, etc., etc. So take a look at the following two clips, and you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. So in this play, Eric does a fantastic job of holding the puck, faking the pass, and turning it into a ripe snipe. So let's see just exactly how he does it. So he's bringing the puck up on a 2v1. He's got a lot of space and a lot of time. Vile is not in a great position in the net. If you look, he's got the near post open. He's kind of really far out, so he's going to have to reposition himself. And if you remember back from episode 2, when a goalie's repositioning himself, he's very vulnerable because he's not totally focused on the play that's unfolding because he's looking at himself. So Eric brings it up, he brings it up, Vile starts to reposition to cover that near post. Squirtle's got his one-timer open. Eric, he fakes down, and Squirtle's wide open here, so the defense has to make a decision, the goalie has to make a decision. Vile's shield's about to expire in a second or two. And Eric, he sees that far post wide open now because Vile overcompensated on the near post because he had it open previously. And then at the last second, he repositioned to make sure he had it covered. Eric, smart player, realizes this. He sees Sly break down to cover that passing lane, waits for the shield to expire, takes the right snipe, banks it in off the post,
Great job by Eric. So in that play, you see a few things come together to create a goal. Eric taking advantage of the goalie repositioning himself, taking advantage of the 2v1 by faking the pass, making the defender go down to defend him, and taking advantage of his space and time, getting a lot of power on his shot by utilizing fast fill, not making excessive right clicks, and it's just a great fundamental goal by Eric. That's why he's one of the best. So let's take a look at another example of a ripe snipe that results in a goal. So right here, Swift gives me the puck. I've got lots of space, lots of time. The goalie, Marker, he probably thinks I'm going to hold power down ASAP because it's kind of a breakaway here. Just a lot of space in front of me. But I'm actually not holding power, and you'll see soon why. So here, Marker's leaving that near post wide open, so I know he's going to shield ASAP. A, because he's leaving a gap. B, because he thinks I've got power held down this whole time, so if he thinks that, then he must think that I have a full power bar charged by now. But I actually don't hold down power until right now, on my final right click when I'm going up this way. What I'm looking for here is I expect him to cover this near post gap, reposition himself, and then leave this far post shot open. As soon as the shield expires, I'm going to let go. I'm going to have full power charged by then because of fast fill. And it's going to result in a goal more often than not because most goalies can't react from this range centered, a full power shot centered. He has to basically guess the boost here. 90% of goalies can't react that fast, even on server. Another thing to notice here is that Ruckle, he boosted forward and then he peeled back on the play, which brought Nova back to cover his passing lane, which let me have the sniping lane here. And I'll show you that again before I finish this clip. But let's just take a look at the snipe for now. Look at this. Sniping lane wide open, shield about to expire, full power. It's just a great team play right there. And let's take a look at what Ruckle did on this play too. So if you notice Ruckle, he's ahead of Nova here, and you might think, oh, why would he go back here? Well, it's to bring the defender back too, which opens up the lane for myself. It's a very kind of an advanced play to peel back here. See? He stops, he goes back, Nova boosts to cover him, which means then later he can't boost after me. And then now he's going to have to turn back to cover that passing lane to Ruckle, which opens up everything for me. Great play by Ruckle there.
Ruckle just stopped.
Restroll can do is delay.
Right.
If he tries to keep pushing, here's what's going to happen. He's either going to run into me, he's going to have no shot angle. Well, the pass to Metz is covered from this angle too. But if he delays, it's going to give time for Metz and Elder Sage to catch up to develop a real play. At this point, the defense already has like the edge. I mean, he could do a soft loft. Does Vapor have boost?
Let's see. Does he?
I don't know.
He does.
Yeah, he does. He does have boost. So that wouldn't work. Vapor would just, intercept it. And in-game, he should be trying to keep an idea of, like, the boost.
To me, I think Restroll has two options. He can either...
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, he shouldn't be holding down power because it's just... It makes it so easy to defend. There's no shot here. There's no shot for him to take. So Zach's going to easily defend this if you're holding down power. It makes him either just take a really weak shot or get stolen from. So what he should be doing, he shouldn't be holding down power. And then if he doesn't have power held down here, then he has two options. The first thing he can do, he can try to like dribble through Zach. It's hard to do, get re-steals and then try and dribble and drive. Or he can just hold the puck and wait for his teammates to get downfield and have a passing lane open.
Yeah, cutting behind me is the right move, but if he passes Elder, Vapor's still going to get there first.
Yeah,
The pass wouldn't work.
the passing lane's covered right now. Vapor has his boost, so if Reshiral wants to pass to a teammate here, he really needs to just wait.
Yes.
But with him holding power, it's too easy for a defender like Zach to just go and steal it from him.
Exactly.
So, like, if this was me with the puck, I'd probably try to dribble it past you, and then maybe I could have my teammate up here open for a pass. But
which is one way to go
I think
about
for
it.
like the average player, what they should be doing here, they should try and just hold it, wait for a teammate to get open, maybe rotate back, pass it to the third man, something like that. Because there's really nothing else he could do, especially with the power held down. There's really nothing. There's no option.
Truth be told, this is actually like the perfect situation that made Proster the great player he is, even though he doesn't play anymore. I'm going to bring him up because he taught me this concept I'm about to tell you. With delaying here, first of all, he shouldn't be holding power. That's obviously the biggest thing.
Right.
He's not going to be able to react to a click if he's holding power. It just makes it so much more difficult to maintain possession of the puck. He can't dribble. He can't click. He can't do anything. He's just going to get stolen.
Right.
And if he delays just like a second, you're going to catch up. You're both going to have like a sandwich, I guess I'd call it, with probably me and Vapor in between it. But here's where the big play would happen. Elder is going to be open in the far part of the triangle for a third man pass.
Exactly.
Yeah, these aren't ideal, but it's really your only option against a setup defense.
Exactly. And third man one-timers are really powerful, especially against set defense. Sometimes it's the best option
Yes.
that you can do. So it doesn't hurt to wait and use your teammates.
But one of the biggest issues, I think, and it's before this play even happened, he's way too close to the boards. There's nowhere for him to go. This is something I fall victim to a lot. If you corner yourself, you got no option. You just have to fall back. That's all you can do. Otherwise, you're guaranteed to lose the puck, and then there's nothing happening. And truth be told, I'm actually very surprised. The red team's defense here, I would say, is damn near perfect.
Yeah, everyone's covered pretty well. The one thing you said about being towards the boards, I mostly agree with it. You have to be like really good at dribbling to do anything from this type of position.
I would agree. I think you're someone who can make it work. You do that a lot. It's one of the plays I hate that you do, is when you just like go to the boards and then dribble towards the crease.
Right. It's
'Cause it's hard
not
for me to
easy to
clear.
do. It's not easy to do.
No, it's not. I've tried doing it. It's not easy. I still think the objectively, like, strategically smart move is to delay.
Right, definitely wait. Do a set offense, maybe pass it to Elder. Third man one timer. So let's see what he does here instead. He takes a really weak snipe that has zero chance of going in. Takes it behind the board. Takes it behind the net. And you see Elder's coming up here. Reshiral could.
There's just like stuck at the bottom. Honestly,
he could pass it off the boards behind him to Elder because he's wide open. Really, there's no one covering him.
That's a good way to do it. I also think that if Elder was a bit more centered, like back more, you know, the triangle. I think you know what spot I'm talking about, really.
Like right here. I'm drawing, by the way, if you want to.
Here, I'll look. Yeah. Yeah, that's the board pass. I'll wait because it's a little delayed.
Okay.
Go ahead and draw the spot you think I'm talking about.
Yeah, I did. I drew like a line where I think Elder should be.
All right. Yeah, perfect. Exactly. If Elder's there, that also gives Reshiral third man pass, and then you can get like the whole offense re-swinging.
Right, exactly. But I still think, like, I really wouldn't blame Elder still for
No,
this.
not at all.
Because he's open with this pass behind the board, behind the net. I mean,
Yeah.
what I probably would have done here, just the way I play personally, if I was Reshiral, I probably would have tried to bounce pass it off the top boards back to Elder. I usually do that a lot with the guys in this position. It works pretty well too. You just have to be you have to be careful because Vapor could turn around and steal it, intercept the pass. But if you pass it correctly, it should go to Elder.
Yes. My advice with those passes, though, because I could see a lot of people inexperienced making turnovers that way.
Right.
Make sure it's closer to your net than like the defender.
Exactly.
Like, if Elder has to skate back to get it, that's fine. But if it goes to Vapor and Vapor's on a one-on-one breakaway, that's not fine.
Yeah, it's better to miss it far than it is to miss it near, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's better to miss it more towards your net than it is closer to their net.
Exactly.
I think we kind of beat the dead horse on that one, but wanted to make it clear.
So Restrol's had it for a few seconds in this area, and he should know like what his options are. He should see that Elder's pretty far up, that I'm pretty far up, that there's no one really back on defense here. So you should be careful with the puck. Instead, he tries to force a really like risky pass for no reason.
Yes. And one option he could do is force a pass on the crease. It's not ideal, but it means that the other two blue players, you and Elder, are going to be in between the puck and the net. So you can come back for defense. So, like right here, if Restro passed it behind Vapor to you,
Right.
it'd probably go by. Vapor might catch it, but if he does catch it, Vapor has to turn around.
Exactly, right.
And you and Elder are going to be there for defense.
Exactly. Instead, he uses first off he uses his boost, which is terrible
Yeah.
because then he's not going to be able to boost back on defense,
Yeah.
and he just gives it straight away to Vapor, who has all this empty room to just go with his boost and have a clean breakaway. You know, maybe the best player in all of Zealot hockey. That's not what you want to do. Just give him a clean
It's
breakaway.
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, if you were a few more steps back, that would help, but you couldn't have expected Restro to turn it over like that.
Right, like I'm expecting him to make a smart play. He should see where everybody's positioned and just go with the smart, safe option instead of trying to force, through a great player like Vapor.
He got behind Vapor because he went around the back of the net.
Right.
Oh, because he stopped after he passed. He didn't keep skating.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of ignoring how bad him using his boost was too. Because even if you miss the pass without
Oh, yeah,
using
that
your
was
boost,
horrible.
at least you can defend. At least you'd be in a position to defend if you're Restral if you don't boost here. But he boosted, and then it's just there's nothing you can do after that once you turn it over.
Yeah.
So to help explain the triangle offense, I'm gonna borrow a clip from Watermelon's video series, Wednesdays with Watermelon. I think he did an excellent job explaining the triangle offense and some other general positioning tips. It's a great video. You should check out the full video if you haven't already. It's called Wednesdays with Watermelon. You can find it on YouTube.
So the things that I talked about, number one, and if there's any like time for you to take notes and just like use these to think about how to improve, this is the time. Anytime you're on offense, you should have 3 people lined up in a triangle like this. You have your number 3, you have your puck holder, who of course has the puck, and then you have your receiver. And in any spot as a receiver where you're not open, so there's a defender here, you should be moving backward. What that does is that pulls the defense backward, and that leaves way more opportunities for the puck holder. The only time you boost forward is if you know that this player doesn't have a boost, and you can just boost up for the easy one-on-one. Another thing, you do not want to boost behind your teammates. So you have your triangle, you have the puck, and you decide to boost behind your teammate. Whenever you do that, you should expect all 3 defenders to move to right here, and you're forcing your teammate. It doesn't matter how good your teammate is, you're forcing him to go through 3 people. And that's always going to make it really, really tough on him. And I don't think he's going to appreciate it very much. Another thing, if you say you're in the dead zone, so you're out here with the puck, and you only have one teammate forward. So say you have the puck here, draw a puck, your teammate is here, and your other teammate's way back here, and the defense is just clusterfuck all over. When you're in this situation, use your time. no one is pressuring you from here. There's no reason to jam this pass in or jam this drive in for no reason. I just said there's no reason, but there's no reason to do that. What you should be doing is you should wait for this player to catch up so that he draws at least one defender off. You get your boost back if you don't have one. Your receiver gets his boost back if he doesn't have one, and you're spreading out the defense. And from there, there's a whole lot you can do. You can center the puck like this and then pass. You can center and then shoot. You can go up like this and pass because there's fewer defenders there. Your teammate can peel off while you peel off, and then you can pass out here. You can peel off this way, your teammate peels off this way, and then you boost forward and pass. Or you can both peel, let the defender fall out of the lane, goalie evacs, and then you shoot. There's so many things that you can do when you just follow these few principles. Use your space, maintain the triangle, and don't try stuff that's stupid. And that's all I've got.
The next thing we're going to go over are VAP steals. Of course, named after the great player Vapor, refers to steals that are at virtually max range away from the defender, generally by angling your stick towards their backside. They're really effective, especially against good defense, because really good team defense is going to block all the passing lanes off. They're going to block the shooting lanes. So sometimes that's the only option available to you. And you can't really defend VAP steals. Like, if you execute it perfectly, that is really tough to stop. So VAP steals are a great tool to have in your back pocket against good defenses, especially ZHL level or even good pro teams. You know, sometimes they play some pretty good defense. So we'll take a look at that, and it's something you can practice and work on over time, both setting up for them and executing them, but also passing them too, knowing when to pass them. So on this play, you'll see a good example of a team utilizing VAP steals to create offense from nothing against good defense. So let's see how this play unfolds. Ruckle gets it up to me. I'm up by the top boards. Kind of a dead zone up here. Everything's covered pretty tight. Ruckle's kind of out of the play. Can't really get it to him anytime soon. Perplex has the near post covered. I found blocking me from driving. Tom blocking me from cutting back this way. And Gecko right on top of Swift. So no one-timer available or anything like that. So I'm just going to hold it for a little bit, wait for something to open up at all. I found blocking the lane to pass the potential VAP steal, but I'm going to wait for him to move. I cut back. He cuts back to follow me. And then I cut back again. Swift, if you notice, he moved out to bring the defenders with him and then move back in. And now that passing lane is there, I can pass it right on top of Gecko and hope that Swift can steal it off him and shoot it in. And that's exactly what he does. Look at that. Just about max steal range there. Steals it off real quick, and then he's got that far post open. Really well executed play right there. Tough to defend that. You have to really play like perfect defense to stop those. Now granted, they're tough to pull off on offense effectively and consistently, but that's something that even against the best defense, you can find those plays there if you just be patient with it and you position correctly. So as you saw in that previous clip, when you have the puck in the dead zone, basically out in the wing by the boards, one of the ideal thing, really one of the few things you can do there, is pass it to your teammates on the crease for a VAP steal. Because you really can't do much else. You can't shoot it yourself from there. You don't really want to drive from there because there's usually going to be one defender on you and then one defender on the crease too. So if you're not passing to the third man and you're not holding it, the best thing you can do there really is pass it down to the crease for a VAP steal, assuming it's a 1v1 situation on the crease. If there's like two defenders there, you don't want to do that really, but 1v1 situation, that's a great thing to do there if your teammate's positioned properly for it. And he has boost, very important. If you have boost, VAP steals are a fantastic thing to do because you can steal it, The goalie's rooted usually because he's probably going to shield, and you can beat him. You can beat his reaction to the far post. So let's see what happens here. Fancy actually doesn't have his shield. He's shielded to save that one-timer. 1v1 situation on the crease. Swift sees it. He just spams it up to me. I just have to land my one click here and then boost far, and it's going to be a goal 90% of the time, honestly. That's exactly what happens. It's really simple. These are plays that really anybody can pull off. You just need to have the awareness, both with the puck, as the person making the pass, and as the off-puck player, positioning properly for that and timing your click properly. All it is, it's one click to steal, boost far, hold your power, shoot it. If you want to get fancy, you can cut back and then shoot the far post, but honestly, if you just do that boss cross, you just boost far and shoot, it's going to be a goal more often than not. The best time to pull off a VAP steal, if you can do it, is when the other team is transitioning to offense. Because generally, when the other team is transitioning to offense, more often than not, the goalie's shield is going to be on cooldown. So, if you turned it over in front of their net, goalie shield's on cooldown. If you can VAP steal it, go for it. Especially if you're the most forward player. Because at that point, it basically becomes a 50-50 play. If the goalie doesn't have shield and you're stealing it off them, you could probably shoot either post. If the goalie doesn't have a shield, it becomes really tough to stop those. So let's see what happens on this play here. Pass gets intercepted. Nobody really for Nova to clear it to right away, so it's a tough situation for him. He sees Swift coming up behind him for a VAP steal, so he's thinking, I gotta get rid of this right now. But no one is really open. He can't even really pass to Tyrion because Eric's in the way. In fact, it might have been what he was trying to do. But either way, the pass goes to Eric. Yeah, if you look at it, it kind of does look like he was trying to get it to Tyrion. But instead, Eric gets it. I'm right on top of him. I'm in perfect range to get the VAP steal, which is exactly what I do here. Marker's on cooldown, and look at this. Neither post covered. He has to completely guess at this point. At worst for me on offense, this is a 50-50 chance to score. So I'm not even looking for my teammate here. Like, Swift is kind of open, but I don't even have to get it to him because this is the perfect opportunity right here. No shield, both posts open. Just go for either one at this point. Don't matter. Easy goal. So another way that you can use VAP steals on offense, instead of like doing a direct pass to the defender yourself, you can pass it to your third man who uses one-timer and gets it down to the crease. In many ways, that's even better when you can pull it off because those third man one-timers are kind of chaotic. The goalie might boost. He's definitely going to shield on those more often than not. It can be tough to track where it's going, especially the faster it is. So we'll see Nova on this play use the one-timer, gets it down to the crease, and I VAP steal it off. Actually, I think Vapor, ironically enough, and really tough for Gandalf. Like, if you can do a VAP steal off of a third man one-timer, that's going to be a goal like 90% of the time if you execute it properly. Let's see how it goes. Tudus, he's got nothing except that passing lane to Nova. Everything else covered pretty tight. So he's going to pass it to him right as he uses the one-timer right here. Passes it straight into Vapor. I think he was intending to pass it on to him. I don't think he was trying to do a meta one-timer. I think that was his intention for me to have a VAP steal opportunity. Passes it on to Vapor. I steal it off of him. And if you notice this, Ling started to move up because he tracked the trajectory of the puck when he one-timed it. So he went up to try and cover that lane in case Gandalf boosted down. And that leaves it wide open for me down here. Easy goal.
So recall back to earlier in this episode and back to episode 1 when we talked about what to do on a 2v1 situation on offense. Ideally, on a 2v1, you want each player on offense running towards one post, one going towards the bottom post, one going towards the top post, to create space, to threaten the goalie with a one-timer, etc., etc. When you don't do that, you're going to block your teammates' shots. You're going to make it easier for the defender to cover both players if you're both on top of each other. The goalie won't have to feel as threatened about both posts. So those duo drive lanes, you want one going towards the far post, one going towards the near post. Sounds simple, but it doesn't always work out as you expect. We're going to look at a play where the offense executed this really well. It was Papi Chulo as the off-puck player, positioning himself very well to create space and time for his teammate, which resulted in a goal.
So right here is the ideal thing about what I mean by spacing with 2v1 breakaways. I'm stuck in the center, and look at how high up Papi is and how far down Mets is. That's so much ground to cover. And sure, this is a passing lane. Go ahead and draw that real quick. Between you and Papi, that right now I'm not covering. But that's because you can also just like boost forward. You can drive in. You can take a snipe. You have so many options.
Right, and if you look here too, there's the near post gap too.
Yeah, exactly. This is about to say. There's so many things that can happen here. So let's go ahead and watch how it unfolds. A little bit. Okay. So right here, like, honestly, you're set up perfectly. The blue team is just lined up exactly where they should be. Papi's way up top. Mets is way down low. I have to make a decision of how I'm going to cut this off. Mets could even pass at this angle right now, right this second.
Right.
And you'd probably get it past me. Although you don't have the shot charged. But hypothetically, that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, the defender doesn't know for sure whether the player has
Exactly.
it charged anyway, so...
Especially because you were skating straight before this, so I would assume you had your shot charged. That's what I do as a defender. If they skate straight for more than like a second and a half, I'm assuming they're at half power.
Right.
Okay, so, like, look at this. It's just ideal. Papi is skating at the corner. He's got the most narrow shot angle possible if Mets hits him for the one-timer. And Mets can even just snipe it across himself. There's a lot going on here, so I'm trying to collapse, trying to do something. I should have boosted as soon as Mets did. I reacted slowly. And I could have cut this off and had a great interception. I mean, we're talking microseconds.
Right,
here.
and if you do boost here, then it leaves the near post open for me to attack. Like, I could cancel my boost and then, and then cut back and then shoot either far post or near post.
Exactly. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch how it unfolds. So I'm just out of reach. I thought I was going to get there in time. I would mistimed it, and the one-timer goes in perfectly.
In this last section, we're going to go over the catch and carry. Very, very important. Less confident players, they often over-rely on one-timers. They get really lazy. They just activate one-timer and they hope it goes in instead of doing the optimal thing, which is often to catch the pass and then drive yourself or just wait for the goalie to double boost or something like that. That's not to say you never want a one-timer. One-timer is great in certain situations. If the pass is fast and you're on the crease, if you know the goalie's not that great, he might not boost in time, etc. But catching and carrying the puck is often the best thing to do, and it's not done enough, especially at the lower levels.
So this was a great offensive play until the very end when Handsome Snail didn't do the most with his great opportunity. So let's break it down and see what happened here. So Snail has it. He makes a really nice pass over to Virus just as soon as Shackman's about to get there to steal the puck. Now look, they have a 2v1 opportunity here. Tons of space. They're spread out nicely, creating space for one another. Virus boosts in. He baits Mark's boost. Baits Angry's shield. Now Snail has all this room. The
pass is fairly slow, but that's okay because it's more important to get the puck over to Snail here. So Snail has a few options here. One, he could one-time it, and I see far too often players using the one-timer in this situation. It's not necessary, and it's too obvious. Like, Angry's going to save this 90% of the time with how slow the pass was, how obvious the play it is. A great player like Angry, he's going to realize that a probe skater who doesn't have that much confidence in his finishing ability is going to try and use the one-timer here. What Snail could have done instead was he could have just catched and carried the puck up to the crease, and then he could have waited for Angry to boost down and then shoot it into the far post. Instead, he just, it's kind of like a lazy play. He just does a lazy one-timer into the near post, hoping it works. And, it's just not going to work most of the time against a good goalie in that situation. So it was a great job by Virus and Snail early on, creating space for one another, making some nice passes. But then just the lazy one-timer ruins the play. I see this happen too often. So try and get into the habit of catching and carrying with the puck more often instead of just relying on one-timer to do the job. So on this play, you'll see a great example of Tudus catching the puck, driving to the far post, and scoring instead of using the one-timer. Let's see how it unfolds. So I've got the puck here. I'm looking for something. Nova's kind of open, but he's a little far out. 3 people on the crease. So I'm going to hold it, wait for something even better to open up. So what I'm doing here, I'm either waiting for the one-timer lane to open up, because Tudus has his one-timer open, and if it doesn't open up, I'm going to wait for his one-timer to expire so I can pass it to him because he's got boost, and then he'll be able to drive and finish and hopefully score. So I'm holding it. The one-timer's not open, wait for it to expire, pass it right as it expires. He's got his boost, he drives to the far post. That's tough to stop, especially for the goalie, because the goalie boosts top to stop the one-timer, and then he doesn't one-timer, he catches it, carries it to the far post. If the defense doesn't stop him in time, that's going to be a goal 90% of the time. Great job by Tudus there. That is a really tough play to stop for a goalie, for a defense. And it's something you really don't see pro players do that often. 90% of the time, they're just looking to one-timer, and even if they do catch in that situation, they kind of don't know what to do. Just catch it, go far post, and it's going to be a goal more often than not. So one thing you can practice on, especially with a friend or two, if you have a goalie, and if you have someone to take turns passing and receiving the puck, you can work on catching and carrying the puck, work on your technique, because you're not going to get that many opportunities playing games doing that, because it might only happen once or twice a game where you have the opportunity to catch and carry in place of a one-timer. So you might not be at a high level with your technique on that play. So it might make sense to go and practice it for 10-15 minutes by yourself or with a friend and get the technique down pat. So what you can do is just practice back and forth, passing to one another and trying that catch and carry. Try going far. Try cutting back and going back to the near post sometimes. And keep doing it till you get the hang of it. I practiced this with my development league team, and for most of them it was a struggle at first, but after a while they got the hang of it. Looney early on couldn't even boost without like spinning out, but then after about 10 or 15 minutes of practice he really got it down pat. So I think this is something that could be very beneficial to a lot of players, even like ZHL level players who have a hard time scoring. Do the catch and carry drill. Works even better with a friend. You can take turns passing to one another. The key when on your boost, don't press X before you boost, just clicking like a slant to the opposite post of you and boost. That way you won't spin out, that way you won't slow down. And you see here, took Looney a few tries, but he eventually got it. So definitely helped him, definitely helped Degradation, and Microwave. I think it can definitely help anybody who struggles with that technique, catch and carry technique. So let's finish up with a quick recap of this episode. Some of the key points that I tried to convey to you. First off, remember about fast fill. When you have a breakaway, one right click downfield, then hold, power. Second thing, lead your board passes towards the center crease, typically speaking. Give your teammate the optimal shot angle once he receives the pass. Next, always keep an eye on the middle slot when you have the puck by the boards. That's the ideal place that you can receive a pass with momentum and boost in that situation. So always keep an eye there, see if you have your teammate coming up in that lane, and get the pass over to him if you can. Next, position for VAP steals at the opportune times. For example, when the puck carrier has the puck up in the wing, kind of like a dead zone, he can't do much. The best option for him in those situations, more often than not, is to pass it to his teammate who's set up for a VAP steal. Last but not least, in fact, probably the most important thing of this episode, in my opinion, don't over-rely on one-timers. Practice the catch and carry. If you're not good at it, do the drill. So thanks for watching. Next episode is going to focus on goaltending. I'll try and get that out in a more timely manner, but no guarantees. I haven't even started that one at all. I have no clips for it, so could be a while. Special thanks to Zach and Elder for helping me out in this episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Mondays with Mets.
Here goes Link King in tight. Puck has some room. Waits, takes the pass, and walks the left side of the bar. Oh, sure, but a horrible mistake.
To keep their team alive. Can they do it? Does that in front? Take the shot. A big save from Elder save.
Try to find a lane, take his time, hit the side again!
Back. It's always a tough thing when just one hitter gets you. Oh no! Shackman took a long snipe.